There was a major cyclone by the name of Idai that hit Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Malawi. Now, this particular cyclone tore up a lot of the poor areas of the countries. Many people died. Well, let's go ahead and roll the clip.
It's being described as the worst humanitarian crisis in Mozambique's history. Heavy flooding and prolonged bouts of rain are compounding the destruction wreaked by Cyclone Idai last week. The storm and flood waters not only engulfed roads and bridges, they also wiped out communications networks across the region. And many of Idai's victims are once again finding themselves in danger. This mother is one of hundreds of thousands who lost their home. She's worried about her newborn as food supplies in the shelter run low.
Since last night, I haven't eaten anything. Yesterday, I saw that food was running out. I went and asked, and they told me that food was over, and until now, I've had none.
That's because the floods and heavy rain which followed in the storm's wake are hindering aid workers' efforts. In some areas, floodwaters are meters deep. Most rural areas remain cut off from help.
As you can see around us, it's atrocious weather conditions. The weather is still persisting, and despite that, everybody is helping, and we're offloading 20 tons of cargo manually by hand.
Rescuers are also working around the clock to save lives. Many victims are still trapped on rooftops, trees, and other remote areas. And the region is bracing for more heavy rain in the coming days. Flooding has become the biggest threat Mozambique is facing right now.
Now, in Mozambique, 200 people have been confirmed dead, 98 in Zimbabwe and 56 in Malawi. It is a humanitarian crisis. They are reaching out to people all over the world to help them in this issue. Now, what I will say in this is that they have the African Union in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, that all the African nations come together underneath the African Union. Every nation in Africa needs to be helping out, more so than any other nation they're reaching out to. Now, when it comes to humanitarian crisis, military issues, the continent of Africa should always do things on their own. They should come together under unity, not being divided over tribe and, country or etc. But a lot of times we don't see this when it comes to different issues. Now, I'm going to read to you who are helping, at least as of right now, based on money and food aid, etc. Now, right now, the United Nations has pledged $20 million to this humanitarian crisis that you saw. The European Union is giving 3.9 million in emergency aid. The UK is giving 7.9 million, and Tanzania military airlifted 238 tons of food and medicine, which is a neighbor in East Africa. The United Arab Emirates is giving 4.9 million to Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Malawi. And also Norway stated they would give 700,000 to help, and also the African Union has pledged 350,000 to help with this. But there are many African nations that has not helped out yet. Tanzania can't be the only one. You must be self-sufficient on your own. When you have all these different people coming in to try to help out, unfortunately, there are people that's going to take advantage of this. Now, I remember the earthquake in Haiti and how they needed help. And all these people came in taking advantage of the situation with the children. They had pedophiles showing up in these NGOs. You had people that was organ traffickers that was showing up, taking organs from people because it was a disaster. So you don't want that group to come in with this situation. This is why you need people on the continent that's going to mobilize and do things for yourself. You don't need the West. You don't need none of these nations to do anything for you, especially being the richest continent on the planet with all the resources. I mean, the African continent overnight could be better than any other country out there due to the resources. But due to there are corrupt leaders who sell you out is the reason why this does not happen. Now, also South Africa has stepped up as well, and they have pledged to help. But it can't just be Tanzania and South Africa. It has to be more than one place, more than one country. Now, what we want to do here definitely is want to do our part. But what we want to do to people that's in the continent of Africa, that's possibly in Mozambique or Malawi or Zimbabwe, is to email us, reach out to us, and let us know what organizations that's ran by the brothers and sisters that we could actually donate to. Because I see them Red Cross and all these other ones getting involved. We don't want to donate to the Red Cross here in America. Because we saw what they do with the hurricane money, how they finesse. We saw what they did to Haiti. So we know not to give a dime to the Red Cross. So if any of you brothers that's over there or sisters that's over there that's running into organizations that we can research and look into, email us at philipscott@adviseshow.com, or you can send it to news@adviseshow.com, either one. And that way we can direct, the brothers and sisters here that want to help out with the situation. That's including myself. And that way we can donate something, because I know good and well, we want to help out much as possible. But I understand living in a hurricane zone, how it feels to have your whole world turned upside down, flooding everywhere. You got mosquitoes, snakes, bugs, and you got, unfortunately, criminals running around trying to take advantage of situations like this. So it's not very good, especially when you have children. And in their situation, it's definitely worse than Hurricane Harvey when it happened over here. Because the streets are messed up. A lot of people on rooftops want to be rescued. I mean, it's very, very horrible. So the global community, is definitely the African nations, need to come together and help out. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this particular humanitarian crisis in Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Malawi. But once again, I would reach out and say, let us know which one is reputable that we can promote people to donate to, because we don't want to allow to any donations go to these so-called Red Cross and all these other ones that's trying to finesse anytime a humanitarian crisis happens.